Cause I'm a honky-tonk man, and I can't seem to stop. Gonna give the girls a whirl with the music of an old jukebox. When the money's all gone, I'm on the telephone, singing Cheesy Pete's. Hey, hey, mama, will your daddy come home? Okay. Hello, everybody. Let's see here. Oh, I probably should have brushed my hair first. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. All right. Hello and welcome, everyone, to our Monday night mini medicine card readings. Come on in and say yes if you would like a reading. I already got people coming in. Anna, you are first. Okay. Okay, Tammy, sure. Tyler. Let's see. I don't want to forget anybody. So we got Tyler and Sage. So anyone who this is your first time, if you would like a one-card reading, the first 6 people who comment yes get a one-card reading. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 1 spot left. I got Sage, yes. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for showing up. And Amaral, that is our 6. So if you are new here, yep, I got Roulette and Joe and Sage and Tyler and Anna and Amaral. So if you are new here, you may notice that a lot of people already have figured out the way this works. And so next time you want to try to get on as soon as you can and comment yes. The first 6 people to comment yes get a free 1-card reading with the medicine card deck. And I'm Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman, and happy to have you along for the evening. And so if you are not one of the first 6, the groupies, mommy, I've got groupies. I've made it. That means I'm successful if I've got groupies. So if you are not one of the first 6, fear not. For what we do then is have everyone else just choose a number between 1 and 6, and follow along. And I will announce the name of the person as well as the card number. And I promise you that somehow Spirit, in all its wisdom, will piggyback your message on the message for whoever else that card is for. So, yeah. And my only ask is that you please share this video. Share it on your page, on your wall, on someone else's wall or page in Messenger, or you can tag somebody in the comments. But I ask that you please share this video. And if you would like to give more, I don't know if it worked or not. I tried doing a tip jar thing. Like on one of the first comment up there, I pinned a comment, the tip jar with my PayPal and Venmo information. And if you would like to share more than just your fantastic energy, I appreciate anything you're willing to give. Of course, that is not required. This is a gift from my heart because I love my job. So I think that is it before we get started. So, all right. Anna, you are the first one up. All right, Anna, card number 1 is elk. So Anna, elk is stamina. When elk comes up, elk's main defense mechanism is that he can outdistance predators, right? Predators tend to be sprinters, so they depend on that initial burst of speed, right, to take down their prey. But if they miss, they're done. They've used up their energy. And meanwhile, elk can run for hours at the same pace without tiring out. So what does this mean for you? It means that whatever you're focusing on right now, whatever the task at hand is, the universe is assuring you that you have more than enough energy to get there. That it may take a bit of time to get there. It's not going to be this rush and boom, you're there. But you have the energy and the stamina to get wherever you are going. Okay? So it's kind of like that thing about how it's not so much the destination as it is the journey. The other thing about elk that I like to point out, so I was doing a reading for a client one day, and elk came up, and I was explaining that whole thing with like the wolves being sprinters, and if they miss the elk gets further and further ahead of them, right? Well, as I'm explaining that, in my head, I'm watching that play out on the table in front of me, and all of a sudden this horizontal scene flipped vertically. And I realized that what elk medicine really is about raising your frequency, right? The people that want to tear you down can only go so high. Their frequency, they can't get over a certain frequency, right? So if you are beyond, they can only jump so high on that frequency scale, right? And if you can get above them, beyond them, you're home free. And eventually you won't even be aware of the wolves on your heels. So they won't be able to catch you. And so there's this quote that I've heard relatively recently that I love that fits. And that is, you will never get where you're going if you stop to throw rocks at every dog that barks at you on the way. So in other words, focus. Your destination is the priority. Don't worry about what others are saying or others are trying to hold you back or distract you. It's just that focus, right? And also, like, along with that, the antlers, right? Connection, crown chakra, connected to source. That is the only thing that you need to focus on. Doesn't matter who's on your tail. Eventually you will not even be aware of that. Okay? Just focus on where you're going and don't mind the dogs. And the thing is, the fact that it's coming up upright indicates to me that you're already well on your way. This isn't focus, stop looking backwards, look forwards. I mean, that's part of the message, but it's more of that keep going. You're doing it, right? Geez, my hair is a mess. Sorry about that. Yeah, so keep going. You're well on your way, and you will have, the universe will see to it that you have all the energy that you need to complete whatever this task at hand is, okay? Okay. So you're welcome, Anna. All right, so Tyler. All right. Card number 2 for Tyler via Tammy. All right. So, Tyler, card number 2 is our old friend Crow. It's interesting. This has never come up, but I just got the phrase "ghost in the machine." Okay, the message I'm getting, Tyler, and anyone that chose card number 2, anyone who's counting by numbers, it's really about the awareness of moving, how do I put this? Moving from a Newtonian universe, like a universe of cause and effect, where everything is just mechanical. There's no life in the system, right? It's like the universe is like a game of billiards. It's like a game of pool. One ball knocks into another ball, which makes it go another way. It knocks into another ball. There's no reason. There's no meaning. There's no life to it. This is about seeing, recognizing the ghost in the machine, recognizing the spirit that lives within all things. Valerie, you chose number 2. Everything is alive, okay? Everything has consciousness. If you can name it, you can speak to it. So this is about recognizing, Crow. So the reason for this is that Crow's main talent is being able to see patterns and to utilize patterns in the system to get what they need. And I always use the example, I saw a PBS special one time, and there was this family of crows in England somewhere who had figured out the stoplight system. And they would wait for the light to turn green so that the cars would go, and they would swoop over and drop nuts into the road so that the cars would drive over them and crack them open. Then they would wait for the lights to turn red, and they would swoop down and gather up these nuts that were so conveniently broken open by the cars. So they see the system, and they see how the system can work to their advantage. And so if it were in reverse, it would be more like rebelling, like trying to rebel against the system, trying to get your way, but that doesn't do anything. This is about realizing that you are part of the system. That, how do I put this? I'm trying to keep my answers short but sweet. But like Raven, right? Crow, the blackness of Crow, that shimmering blue-black of Crow's feathers is the same glimmering blue-black of the night sky, right? And what we think of as infinity, right? This darkness is the void. It is the mother, it's the womb of the cosmic mother wherein lies all possible things. And so when you are in touch with that magic within you, you're in touch with the magic of everything around you. And so you are magical. Never let anyone talk you out of your magic. Things do work out for you that wouldn't work out for other people. The coincidences, the synchronicities, they work out because it's you asking for them to. okay? It's like the double slit experiment that I mentioned before, like in quantum physics. It's like they did this double slit experiment where they had like one board with two slits in it, and then they had another board behind it, and they sent light through those two slits to see whether light was a particle or a wave. And when nobody was looking, the light acted like a wave. The pattern on the back of the backboard behaved as if it were a wave. It created an interference system as if the light was going through both slits. But if someone was observing, or if they even had like a camera or something to observe what was going on, the light only went through one slit or the other one. It acted as though it was particles. That's the power of the observer. The observer cannot be separated from what happens. And you know this. You're in touch with this. That's why things work out for you. That's why things always work out for you. Even if it doesn't seem like they're going to at first, and you would go through those anxieties, oh my God, what if it doesn't work out? That is something you never have to worry about, because you are such an integral part of everything that happens around you. You are literally magic. You are the glue that holds all these seemingly separate experiences together. And they work out because it's you, okay? You are the center of your reality. The world revolves around you, not the other way around, okay? I hope that makes sense. It was like you are not in a cold, lifeless, mechanistic world. Everything is connected. Everything has life. And that's what, like, when Native Americans talk about all our relations, that's what they're talking about. It's the same as relativity. Everything exists in relation to everything else because everything is alive. Everything has spirit. And you are connected to it. You have an absolute say in what happens, okay? You do affect how things work out. It's not random. It's not by accident. You live a charmed life because you are charmed, okay? Whew. I hope that is helpful. All right, Sage. Card number 3. Been listening to a lot of 80s country music lately. I think I'm doing some healing and releasing from my teenage years when I used to listen to country. So, 'cause I'm a honky-tonk man. I used to write country music. That's what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to go to Nashville and be a country singer-songwriter. And the first song I ever wrote was, I think I've mentioned this before, my first song I ever wrote was the Teenage Urban Cowboy Blues. So, not that you needed to know that, I don't know. I don't know why I share those kind of things, but it's kind of fun to... I live through life with people who say that I am strange, just because I'm different and 'cause I'll never change. They just don't understand me, and that's what makes me blue. I'm just a lonesome cowboy who is trying to get through these teenage urban cowboy blues. I wear boots instead of shoes. It ain't easy, win or lose, to sing these teenage urban cowboy blues. There you go. Oh my God. All right, Sage. So, card number 3 for Sage. We've got Grandmother Spider in reverse. I was going to mention something about the threads that run through all the different cards, and it's like literally the threads that run through all the cards tonight. Along the lines of what I was saying with crow medicine, you are the one who pulls the strings in your life, right? Like Ellen Watts talks about, it's like you didn't come into this world. You came out of the world. The same as grandmother's web comes out of her, not the other way around. Your world that you experience is literally an expression of who you are. It comes from the inside out. But we always treat it like, and I know I've said this before, it's like we think like the world is an objective reality, as if it were like the Barbie dream house, right? And we're just these dolls walking through this reality that would be there whether we were there or not, right? But it's not like that. You create your reality. The outside world is an expression of your inner world. So it's to remember yourself as the center of your reality, right? You create your world. And granted, it's not always what you think it would be or should be. You know, it's like I was just listening to this Abraham Hicks talk where he was saying about how that sense of freedom when you're first introduced to that idea of creating your own reality, it's like, oh my God, I can create anything. And then you realize how much of a mess you've made of things so far, right? It's really a matter of this is literally the World Wide Web. This is the web of life, right? You are connected to all things. And so it's a matter of fine tuning, like the strings of a piano, right? So Spider in Reverse is asking you to how do I put this? Step up a notch. Does that make sense? In trusting your intuition, right? She's connected to all things through her web, you know, and like a piano, right? The vibrations that her web sings to her, tells her what's going on around her, tells her she doesn't have to leave her web to know what's going on in the woods around her, right? Your world talks to you and sings to you, and your job is to fine tune, to like make sure that these threads, the world that you're creating, make sure that the threads that you're putting out there are connected to things, situations, people that support your well-being, right? When she weaves her web, you know, sometimes you see the webs where they're connected to grass or whatever, and just like one little thing, like boom, their web will be gone. And other ones in the trees or something where they're on branches, and it's like nothing is going to shake up that web. So it's like making sure that those threads that support you are connected to things that support you. So it's time to stop connecting to people, places, situations that don't serve your highest good. Does that make sense? It's time to cut those cords, to cut those threads. Because your job in this life, in this world, is to see to your own well-being, to the highest vibrational timeline that is possible for you. And the only way you can do that is by focusing on what supports you, okay? And really, I keep saying, it's like the training wheels are coming off. That's what this is saying. That's kind of the message here. It's time to apply. It's time to apply everything that you've been learning all these many, many years. It's time, instead of just keeping it up here as a theory, as, oh yeah, and this is the way the universe works, right? And explaining it, but not utilizing it. It's time to bring it to the heart and to actually utilize your intuition. Actually, rather than getting the opinions of others, ask yourself first, right? And the other thing that comes up with Grandmother Spider is to write. I don't know if you journal or if anyone else who's chosen card number 3. It's said that we learned our letters, we learned the alphabet from patterns in Grandmother Spider's web. And if you think of Charlotte's Web, right, and Radiant Pig, that kind of thing, it may be time to journal, to write, to journaling. Interesting. This is so interesting. These things are coming up that haven't before. But I just got a thought of talking about threads. The myth of Ariadne's thread, right? Ariadne was the princess. She was like I believe she was the princess, the daughter of King Minos. You need to write a book, Sage. I know that's in. I am not a fortune teller. I don't tell futures, but I can almost guarantee that you are meant to write a book. And so Ariadne was the daughter of King Minos, I believe. And Theseus was the one tasked with killing the Minotaur and going into the labyrinth and slaying the Minotaur. And before he went in, Ariadne gave him a thread so that he could tie it to the entrance of the labyrinth, and he could go into the labyrinth and always find his way back. And what's interesting is that thread, it was like rolled up. It's actually called a clue. That's where the whole like unraveling clues comes from. And so by journaling, by following this thread, you're going further and further into the labyrinth, learning more and more depth about yourself, and you can always, it's that same thread that helps find your way back out. It's the thread of writing that gives you the clues that you need to find your way back to where you started. Okay? That is cool. That has never come up before. Thank you, Ariadne. I love that kind of thing. So I hope that is helpful. All right, card number 4. Roulette. I love my life. I love doing this work. It's those surprises that make it so worthwhile. It's like those things that come up. I mean, I could like do readings in my sleep. I've been doing these cards for so long. I know exactly. I could rattle off the, quote unquote meanings of the cards, but it's like reaching for the aspect of whatever animal speaks to the person or people who chose it, It's like, I love, it's like, that's a clue that I unravel. So that's so cool. Anyway. All right. You're welcome, Sage. You just recently joined Threads. That's awesome. All right. Card number 4 for roulette. We got Frog. I'm pretty sure Frog has come up for you before roulette. I don't remember exactly, but it seems, and in reverse. So, the first thing that comes to mind is your energetic hygiene, right? Frog is the patron saint of empaths because Frog doesn't just drink water, he soaks water through his skin. He's the empath. Whatever is in the water becomes a part of Frog because he soaks in whatever is in the water. And so, again, it's make sure, like, when you get home from work every evening or, before you start your day, before you go to bed at night, do some form of ritual or ceremony like smudging or whatever, rattling, just to break up the energy that might be clinging to you from your day. Because like a lot of us who are empaths, it's amazing how much other people's energy gets in the way of our own. We get so caught into that mucky, gooey bleh of other people's energy, and we forget our own path. And so it's really important for you to be clear. My guides have been having me recently, every morning I have a whole playlist of Abraham Hicks. He does what he calls rampages, and there's a couple of specifically for starting your day. And so I listen to one of those every single day. It's like, today is a really good day. Today I am following my intuition like I had never had before. Today things are connecting in ways I have never seen them before because I am becoming more of myself in this day. And so, like, again, the connecting threads, like with Grandmother Spider, you are creating the day. The day isn't there and you're making your way through it. The day is being created as you go. You are on the leading creative edge of your day. Every moment is a moment of creation. And so when you can come from that place and start with intention, start with alignment, right? And my guides have been having me do that and to do my pipe ceremony first thing every morning. So that the first thing I'm doing is aligning. And it is amazing how much difference it makes. I don't always get to it on the weekends because of other factors, but like during the week, especially when I'm going into the office, I always stop at the river first and do pipe ceremony to align myself so that I can be of greater service, because that's what clears me out to become, like I've mentioned, the hollow bone before. And for you to do what you came here to do, you need to be clear. You need to be transparent. And so it's not a luxury, it's a necessity for you to clear yourself of whatever sticky energies are holding on to you, right? And like Frog, who, if he happens to be in a water source that is toxic or not for his highest good, he is going to take the initiative and jump to another water source that is more pure. So it's not just about, oh my God, I can't get out of this pond. Oh my God, this is so toxic, and, playing the victim. It's like taking that initiative to say, I deserve more than this. This is not feeding me. And I am going to search until I find myself a place where I can be purely myself, authentically myself, and that only good surrounds me. Only things, again, like grandmother spider, only things are connected to me in that place that support who I am and my divinity, right? So whether it's, having a time and a space in your home that is just yours, or like setting aside even like 10 minutes or something, 5 or 10 minutes before you go to bed to be totally alone, without the influence of anyone else's energy, so that you can get that baseline feel of who you truly are. So that when those foreign energies come in, for lack of another word, you're aware of it and you say, oh, that's not me. I know what I feel like, and that is not me. So I can let that go. I can cut that thread, just like grandmother spider. So, spider frog, friendly neighborhood spider frog. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be in joy. When you are at your best, that's when you have your best to share to the world, right? We're not meant to be struggling and trying to hold people up out of the pond, out of the water, while we're drowning underneath them. The only way to help people out of the water is to be standing on the shore, to be standing on solid ground, right? So take care of yourself. Oh, you're looking for another job? Awesome. Spirit willing. You said spirit willing, you get it soon. You are that spirit who is willing for it to happen soon. Don't, and this is where that fine line between creating your own reality and becoming a co-creator of your reality really. So at these times when you are in your own energy, totally authentic, transparent, purely yourself, imagine what it will feel like when you have that perfect job, okay? Imagine the relief you are going to feel. Put yourself in that place. You are creating the template of what will become in the physical. You're creating the emotional template, and then the physical has to follow suit. Feel the joy, like imagine yourself coming home after that job and being like, that was the best day of work I've ever had. I didn't know that work could be that way. I am supported. I've got wonderful coworkers and management that support me. And I didn't know it could feel this good to actually hold down a job. And I'm being given more than I deserve. I have abundance so that I can have all the things I need, that I don't have to worry about where things are coming from, and that I can spend money on a whim when I see something in the store that I want. I don't have to check my bank book. I can just say, oh, I want that. And to know that you are taken care of, that you are supported financially in that way, that you can just go for it. Okay? Does that make sense? Um, we tend to, and I'm not saying there was anything wrong with what you said as far as spirit willing, but a lot of times we use that, like God willing, as if it's like giving up our responsibility for creating what we want, right? We tend to be here like, okay, you just have to work with the cards we're dealt. It's like, no, stack the deck, right? You are a co-creator. And like I've said before, it's like we sit here going, what's my purpose? What am I supposed to do? I don't know what my mission is. Meanwhile, creators up here going, what do you want to do with your life? What's your purpose? What's your mission? I can't help you get there unless you tell me what it is, right? So your job is to hold that vision of not so much what it looks like necessarily, but how you want to feel, how it will feel to have a job that supports you physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, okay? You got this. All right. So card number 5 from my brother Joe. All right. You do rock, roulette. You don't have to just want to rock. You do rock. All right, Joe, and card number 5 for people who are following by counting by numbers. You got bear. This is such a perfect card for right now. You know, as much as we try to stand apart from nature, stand apart from Mother Earth and her cycles, we're not just part of nature, we are nature. We are earth, air, fire, and water. And we are connected. All of the cycles that take place in Mother Nature also take place within us. And so this is the time right now that the bears are starting to fatten up, get ready to hibernate. And so, all right, thank you guys. So one of the basic messages right now is that you are totally in the flow. You are totally connected to those cycles. You are in step, in sync with the natural cycles inside of yourself and outside of yourself, okay? And that it's like the timing is perfect. It's like as we come into the dark half of the year, it's time to slow down. Bear is a lot about introspection, right? When Bear goes into the cave, she doesn't actually technically hibernate like other animals do. She doesn't, she's still conscious to some extent. She dreams. So this is coming up on a time to start dreaming, to start, that introspective look at yourself, look at your life to this point and how you have affected it, how your life to this point has reflected who you are. Again, there's that thread, that inner and outer thread of the cards tonight. But, and then, like I was just saying with roulette, dream about the world you want to wake up into come spring. Whether it's your personal spring or it's the spring Mother Gaia. Dream the dreams of what you wish to find. The dream of who you want to be when you wake up. And know, again, that anything is possible, right? Bear, as I've heard, and I don't know that is absolutely true. Again, this is just things that I read and I hear. But I've heard that Bear was the original deity, the first deity ever worshipped by humans. She is the first original mother goddess because she had dominion over life and death. For all intents and purposes, she died during the winter and she rose again come spring. And so the oldest known tomb sites, burial sites of humans actually have bear skulls and bear bones buried with them. And so this is coming up on a time of and there's a lot of people going through this right now. I want to say almost like a dark night of the soul, but not necessarily to the point of crisis that is kind of inherent in that term. But it's like allowing the things that no longer suit you, allowing the parts of you, how do I put this? You know, there are old parts of you that were there out of convenience or for protection, etc. And it's time for those parts of you to die, to make room for the new and improved you to rise, to be born. We can rebuild him. We have the technology. And so it doesn't have to be this long, grieving process of letting go of everything you ever thought you were. It can actually be this joyful looking forward to who you get to be. There are no limits, right? You are, it's like, again, that going into the cave. The cave is the womb of the mother. You are literally getting ready to be reborn. And while you are in that darkness, that space between spaces, kind of like Schrodinger's cat, you're not quite dead, but you're not quite alive either. It's that total potential, that total pregnant potential to be whatever you want to be, right? It is, Emerald, it is society's dark night of the soul right now. Good, Roulette, you got the memo. You love when I back you up when you were just talking about this kind of thing. I still have to, I know last week I promised to post a comic that I did about Black Panther with what was being said. I still have to do that. I'll do that tonight. I also want to post a blog entry that I made like 15, 16 years ago, something like that. I did this ritual with a pagan group, local pagan group, where we actually went, there's a story of Inanna and Ereshkigal, her sister. Like, Inanna was the queen, the Sumerian queen of heaven, and her sister Ereshkigal was the queen of the underworld. And there's a story about how Inanna went to visit her sister. And on the way, she had to pass 7 gates. And at each gate, she had to relinquish something, her identity, her talents, who she thought she was, so that when she arrived in Ereshkigal's kingdom, she was naked and vulnerable and had nothing. And she had to find what was worth living for to come back to heaven. And so we did this ritual where we took that, we literally were outside. We had gauze over our eyes as masks, and we had to hold onto a rope, and we were led through this long, dark, it was dark out, and we kept bumping into trees and rocks. And at 7 points, we were asked, you cannot come past this unless you release your name. Who are you without your name? And then the next one is, who are you without your physical body? And at any point we could say, no, I'm done, and come back. But we kept going, and at every point we let go of a different aspect of us that isn't our true self, right? Because our true self is divine spirit, is what's the word I'm looking? It's like immortal. It's like cannot be harmed. And so I went through that point physically of dropping all of those things that I thought were myself, which were just descriptors of who I am, right? And then getting actually to Ereshkigal's throne room, and it was just amazing. And each of us, one by one, walked up and had an audience with, there was a woman there channeling Ereshkigal. I mean, when I looked in her eyes, when I was in front of her on my knees, I looked in her eyes, this was not a human woman sitting there. It was Ereshkigal. And we had, her main question was, what have you got? What is it that ties you to the land of the living? What have you to live for? And my answer was creativity. And that was the key that she let me return to the land of the living. And so it's kind of like one of my divine errands to continue to be creative, to continue to draw my comics, to write songs and music, to do whatever I'm doing, because that was why Ereshkigal allowed me to come back to the land of the living. I will post that in the comments of this video so that you can read it, because it's a lot more detailed than what I'm saying. But that's kind of where I'm getting at with Bear. It's like letting go. Like Wayne Dyer used to have his students write, they had to write who they were without using any labels. That was their assignment. You couldn't use your name. You couldn't use your occupation. You couldn't use what you looked like. You had to write who you were. So this is an amazing journey you're on. And I salute you for it. It is not for the faint of heart, but obviously Bear has you. She is surrounding you, holding you to get through this. If like I had my original blog that this is actually this post is from was called Embracing Bear, because the winter time is Bear's time, and rather than freaking out about Bear, being afraid of Bear, I realized I needed to crawl into the cave and curl up and dream with her. And so I've got a number of pictures I've drawn of myself curled up with Bear, like dreaming with Bear, with the Dark Mother. So it is a beautiful, magical, divine journey, and I salute you for doing that, okay? All right. I'm going to make a note so I don't forget to post that. And I love Ereshkigal. She is like one of my... She's the goddess, the queen of the underworld. Another one of those dark goddesses that everybody's afraid of. But it's like, I love her. So, I'm making a note so I don't forget. And then we have our 6th card for Amaral. So card number 6, for those who are painting by number. Ha ha! The Omega and the Alpha and the Omega. We started with Elk and we're ending with Elk. You're so welcome, Joe. So Amaral, you've got Elk as well. For you, Amaral, for you, like I've said before, it's like everyone could get the same card and it would be everyone would have a whole different reading. For you, Amaral, what I'm getting is that this is a validation to you from the universe. All those things that I said at the beginning as card number 1 for Anna still hold true. But what I'm getting for you is that this is a validation from the universe. That you are the universe's Energizer Bunny. That you just keep going and going and going and going and going. There is no stopping you. And that is your strength. And the thing is that it is done with such a sense of wonder, right? Elk is part of the deer family, right? And deer is about curiosity and that sense of wonder, right? The big Bambi eyes, looking at everything from the eyes of innocence, of purity, of the childlike wonder. And so this is a thumbs up from the universe, letting you know that you are doing so amazingly well because of those qualities, because of that wonder and that curiosity and that the fact that you never stop. You just keep going and going and going, right? There is nothing out of reach for you because of that. Because it never even occurs to you to slow down and to stop and to question whether you deserve something or not. You just keep going because you have that inborn sense that you do deserve it, that you want to know it, and so you, by hell and high water, you are going to learn it, right? There is nothing off limits to you. There is nothing held back from you. And it's because of that curiosity, because of the wonderment, and because you're willing to go the distance. Most people give up. Most people are like, okay, well, that's enough. I don't need to know anymore. You are not satisfied until you know things inside and out, right? And because of that, you are such an inspiration to so many people. I'm getting chills and I'm almost falling into tears. It's that dedication. It's not, I was going to say tenacity, but it's not even tenacity. You know, tenacity to me is just like, got to keep going, got to keep going, got to keep going. This is fueled by wanderlust. This is fueled by wanting and needing to know what makes the universe tick, right? And that is what keeps so many people connected to you. Like, people look up to you in ways that you aren't even aware of, okay? But I'm getting chills. It's like you have no idea how inspiring you are to other people. Because it never occurs to you to stop and to ask, because you're always next thing, next thing. Okay, I know the surface of this, but what's underneath the surface, right? So that is amazing, my friend. And I know I've done a few readings for you, and I know that I always learn as much as you do when I do a reading for you. I seriously learn so much. So you bring that out in people. Just that unbridled purity and innocence of curiosity and wonder. So, thank you for that. Seriously. All right, so that's our 6. I'm going to pull one more card as usual for everyone, whether you got your own card or not. So we'll pull the card for the community. And if you enjoyed this, please consider getting a complete reading with me. You can visit my website, perchingwolfstudios.net. And you can see all the various services I offer, readings and healings and teachings. And you can set up a session with me. And, you know, more than I can do with just these 1-card readings. Normally I do a 5-card reading, which allows us to delve deep as you want to go. And I love my job, so I would absolutely love to support you in that way. That is my job as your friendly neighborhood shaman. My job is to support you on your spiritual journey. Not to tell you what it's going to be or what it's going to look like or to make you carbon copies of me, but to help you decipher and unravel your own Ariadne's thread of what the universe means to you and how you best walk through it. Let's see, anything else? My mind just went blank. And so I also, I pinned, I don't know if anyone saw it or if it stayed there, whatever, but I pinned at the top of the comments here my PayPal and my Venmo. If you are so moved to support me financially, I am so grateful for anything you donate. To support me in supporting you. I love the reciprocity of that. It's like that infinity loop. I support you, you support me. I support you, you support me. That's what it's all about. So if you feel moved in that way, thank you. And I will share this video to my Facebook page, and I will have all that information underneath that as well. As well as I recently got my laptop back. Woohoo! And so I will be able to upload this video to my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel. So you can watch this again if you forgot what I said, or if you want to choose a different number, like middle of the week sometime, like, I could use some other guidance, and choose another number and watch it again and see what the guidance is for that card. And you can watch over 3 years worth of these videos, along with videos of ceremonies and stories and songs and all kinds of stuff. So subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my videos. That helps me out. And I think that is it for now. So let's see. The community card. All right, 2 came up. All right. I love you. I love Spirit. We got Deer in Reverse, which is all those things I was just saying for Amaral. Curiosity. Be gentle with yourself. It is not through fighting, but through compassion that we are granted passage through the gates to the divine. Okay? Be gentle with yourself. Look at yourself with those eyes of wonder. Okay? Know that you are worthy, that you are enough. And see the beauty, see the grace that you have, all right? And then along with Black Panther, which goes with so much that I've said tonight, Black Panther is about embracing the unknown. Getting through that darkness, approaching the unknown in your life rather than assuming worst case scenarios like we've been taught. When there's dark, when there's unknown, uncertainty ahead of us, we tend to Murphy's Law. We focus on the worst case scenario, but realize that that darkness means that nothing has been decided yet. So your life is an adventure. You are in the captain's chair, going through the dark night, exploring strange new worlds, seeking out new life and new civilizations, boldly going where no one has gone before. That is Black Panther. And when you do it with that sense of curiosity and gentleness, knowing that you are not perfect, that you are going to make mistakes, but the mistakes are how we learn. Your only failure is when you fail to get back up again. Okay? So be gentle on yourselves. And look at your life as an adventure. You create your world as you go. You create your life as you go. Okay? You are the captain's chair. Make it so. All right? So that is our readings for tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing this video. I hope to see you next week. Invite your friends. Tag your friends in the comments. And have a wonderful, wonderful week. Until I see you again, know that I love you, that I see you, and that I honor you. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and go shining. All right. Bye.